I'm in class.
All right. So for today, in today's class, we are going to be talking about, we are going to be resuming our class on measures, where we are going to be talking about the count function. We are going to be talking about the count function on DAX formula. So now, under the counts, we have count A, we have count rows, we have distinct count, and we also have check for blanks. So now, what is count? Use count for numeric columns. Count A is what? For text or mixed data types. Use count row for what? Table row. Use distinct count for what? Unique values. And check for blanks is for what? Count blank. So now, if, for instance, now you have a column that is containing numbers, it is preferably you use what? Count to count that column. Unlike Excel, count works for only numbers. But when we come to Power BI, count works for both numbers and letters on Power BI. Count work for what? Both numbers and letters on Power BI. So count A works for everything. It count text, count numbers, and also count booleans, right? Which is true or false data type. Now, we use count rows to count our table row. We use count row to count our table row. We use distinct count for unique values. So now let's go into Power BI for practical aspects. So now the very first one is count. Remember, I'll click on the table I'm working with, and I'll click on what? New measure. Right? New measure. So now the measure now is what? Count of products. Meaning I want to get what? The total count of the product. What do I do? Count. Then the column name. Where do I have the column? Under my order table. And which of the column am I looking for? The product, which is known as okay now product. Right? And I'll click on what? Enter. Automatically, I have the count of my products visible for me. If I call up my card, and I call up my count of products, now the total count of products is what? 700. The total count of products, meaning in the column for products, the total row we are having is 700 row. Look at it here now. If you come to products, you're going to see it now. You can see it here. Look at the table. Follow my mouse, everybody. Follow my cursor. Right? If I drag it down, you're going to see table. Right? You can see orders, 700 rows. Can you see it now? Meaning inside of this products column, we are having 700 what? Rows. And the product, how many distinct values are there? They are just what? 6 distinct values. Meaning if you use distinct count to count this product column now, it's only going to just give you 6 distinct value, right? So now that is for count. So now let's go for count A. Let's do for count A. The count measure and formulas are something that are not really hard. It is not at all. It's very simple. So count. Okay. Count of, let's say, count of city. Now count of city, which is what? Count A. Then other table, other city. Right, the other table and the city column. Now I have counted the city. Okay, now let's try to count address. Now you can see now. So now let's try to count address. Address is having both numbers and letters. And we're going to use count A to count units sold also. So now if I call on my card, and let's do count of city. Now I can see the count of city now as 700. The count of cities as what? 700. So now let's create another one again with the same count A. So address count. So which is count A. Then they say the address on the other table or inside of the other table. And I'll click on what? Enter. Then if I call on my card and I click on the address count, can you all see it down? Still the same what? 700. Still the same what? 700. So now, can anyone guess if I use count rows for the, no, count rows is for what? To count your table, the rows in a table. Count rows are used to count what? Rows in a table. Now, if I use the DAX formula for count rows, how many do you think it will give me? Anyone? In the chat section, how many do you think it will give me? If I use count rows to count the table row, how many rows will it give me? Can anyone? Good. Laura, Edith, Steven, it's 700, not 699. 700, not 699. So count rows is still going to give us what? What's it called? 700, because you are counting the table row. You are what? Counting the what? Table row. You are counting the table row, right? So now, moving on, let's just move to distance count. So now let's move to what? Distance count. What does distance count do? It counts what? Unique values. Distance count works for only unique value. It counts only what? Unique values. So if I come here now, and I say distance, distance products. So correct distance count. Now the column name will be what? The products. Now click on enter. So if I come in and I click on distance products, now I can see now the distance out of 700 products, we are just having what? 6 distinct products. We are just having what? 6 distinct products. Do you all understand that now? Do you all understand that now? Distinct values count unique values. Distinct are unique. Anything distinct are unique values. Anything distinct are unique. Anything distinct and are unique. Pampe, do you like your new name? Pampe, do you like your new name? So now, the next one I'm going to be talking about is what? Check for blank, which is what? Count blank. Check for blanks, which is what? Count blank. So now, I want to ask one question and I want to see who's going to answer it. If your data pass through Power Query, meaning it passed through data cleaning, do you think count blank will be needed in Power BI? If your data pass through Power BI, I said Power BI, Power Query for data cleaning, do you think you'll be needing Power count blank in Power BI? It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. So now, without wasting much of our time, let's move on to calculate function. Let's move on towards calculate function. Let's move on to calculate function. Emeka, please read.
Okay, can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. Calculate functions. The calculate functions is one of the most powerful and frequent used DAS functions. It is used to modify or override the context in which it is found.
Continue.
Am I okay?
Yeah, move to the example.
Example. Let's say you want to calculate the total sales, in bracket, sales amount, for only a specific region like West. The DAS formula will be total sales West equal to calculate, in bracket open, sum, another bracket open, sales, before you call for the amount, the sales amount.
All right.
Comma, then, okay.
Okay, so then take it up for me. So now let me see, let me try to ask a little bit of question. So now, this calculate function, with the way it looks like, right? On Excel, what do you think this calculate function works for on Excel? If we are to use Excel, what type of function is this on Excel? Any idea? If you have idea, count if one. Count if that's one, correct? Two, correct. Steven, that's good. What else again? Average if, good. So now count if, average if, and some if, right? Both the if and the ifs, meaning some if and count if, some ifs, count ifs, average ifs, and on many other ifs that we have. So now on Excel, it's called the statistical function, right? While on Power BI, on that formula, it is called what? Calculate function. On Excel, statistical function. On Power BI, calculate function. So now let's try to work on some things on that. So now, new measure, let me create a new measure. So now let's try to get what? The total profit. Profits for chocolate. Should we say chocolate? Now the total profit for what? Chocolate. Okay, now chocolate chips. Now total profit for what? Chocolate chips. So if I come in now, that will be what? Calculate. So now it is going to request for what? The expression. Like I said yesterday concerning, there was one we did where we used the expression. What did we use yesterday that we used expression for? Okay, switch. So now the calculate function, right, is going to request for an expression, meaning it is requesting for another DAX formula. Now it is that expression that you are telling it what to do. If you want to count, if you want to get the average, if you want to get the sum, if you want to get the what average sum, if average sum count, right? If you want to get all of them, even though you want to get the highest, the minimum, you can use that for your expression, right? So now we're going to be using sum for the expression, right? So now the column name is what? What I will call calculating for the total cookie profit, which is what? The sum. We are summing for the what? Cookie profit. The total profit is what we are summing up this time around, right? Comma. Now the expression is what? The expression is what? Sum, meaning we are summing up the cookie profits, right? We are summing up the cookie profits. Now the filter, that is when we are bringing in the information we want to filter out. So now the filter is single quotation and locate the table I'm going to, which is what? My product table. My product table, right? Now you can see it now. I am now filtering it now. Let me break it down. So now the other, right? The other table, the inside of the other table, the product equals to what? Chocolate chips, and I'll close my brackets. Right? Meaning if I am having multiple filter, right, I'll keep on adding them together. So if I click on enter and I color my card and I click on the chocolate chips. Okay, now I am having blank. Let me see if my spelling is correct. Okay, chocolate chip, not chips. Chocolate chip, not chips. Now you can see it now. You can see it is what? Spelling sensitive. It is chocolate chip, not chips. So now the total profit for what? Chocolate chip alone is what? $1.1 million. Is there any question on this total profit for chocolate chip before I do another calculate function? Is there any profit? I said, is there any profit? Is there any question on these chocolate chips before I create another calculate function? Okay, now. So now what I said is total profit for what? Chocolate. I am trying to get what? The total profit for what? The chocolate chip. All the chocolate chip, I just want to get the total profits made from them. Now, what do? I call that the calculate function, right? Because it's calculate function I am going to use to filter them out. So now I call that the calculate function. Then under the expression in the calculate function, I used sum because I'm trying to get a total of a particular thing. Remember when I'm trying to get a total, you are summing it up. So now to get the total of a particular column, you use sum to get a total because it's going to sum up that column for you. Now I summed up the column of total cookie profits, right? So now after I summed up the total cookie profits column, I moved on by closing the bracket and I did what? Comma, moving on to the first filter of the calculate function. Now, what did I do? I called out, I filtered them using the what? Or the product in the order table. Meaning I used the products column in the order table to filter them out. And which information did I pick up from the products column? I picked out what? Chocolate chip. So meaning it's going to filter out all profits for chocolate chip and give it to me as what? Total. Do you get that now? Roots. Do you get that now? Do you get that now, Roots? All right. So now, a quick assessment for everybody. Now look at the we just did some if. So we can use it to do some ifs also. We can do some ifs with it. So now everyone, I just need 3 people, right? Just 3 students. So look at it properly. Right, look at it properly. Now, look for the information. Look at the information we are having and tell me what and what we can use we can use calculate, and we can use count, we can use average, we can use sum, we can use max, we can use mean. So now look at it now. What should we get? The total count of a particular thing, the total units sold of a particular product in a particular city, the total units or the total revenue of a particular product in a particular state, in a particular city, that kind of thing. So now what and what can we derive from this data? I just want few people in the chat section to say something. So now I am going to allow you to speak, but please and please don't rush yourself when speaking, one after the other, please. One after the other. So if you have something to say, unmute. If you have anything to say, you can now unmute. Okay, profits in United States. Now, it is only one state we are having. I mean, one country we are having, which is United States. We are only just having one country, which is United States. So the profit in the United States is the total profit that was made.
Profit in gravy. Okay, profits for the products, the products they are checking. What's a profit? Products. And then the crap where cooking chip here.
Sorry, what did you say? Count of city. Okay, now what city are we counting for, Fatima?
So I actually don't know how many cities we have.
Okay, let me show you. So now these are the cities we have.
Okay. Type of city. Maybe the Green Bay.
Okay, Green Bay. So now let's get a count of Green Bay. So now what I'll do is what? Click on my other table. Then new measure. Then we name the measure to what? Count of city. Then we sit down counting for Green Bay. Now what do I do? Calculate function. Where the expression will be what now? What expression will I use?
Countive.
No, I am. Remember, we are working with DAX formula. So there is nothing like count if, count ifs, all those one here. So it is the expression. What will I use?
Count.
I'll use what? Count. But I'll use what? Count A, because it is text I am working with.
Counting.
Right. So now I'm counting for what? The total what? City. So now this is it now. The total city in the what? Other table. I am counting the total city in the other table. If I close my bracket, I am done with the expression. Right. I am done with the expression. That's why it is highlighting it as what? Blue. Move on to what? The filter one. So now under the filter one, I will locate what? The city again. Because I'm saying the city. Let me break it down. So you see the city equals to what? Green
Bay.
Bay. Now what? Close my brackets. Enter. So now if I color my card and I color the city count of Green Bay. So now meaning the total count of Green Bay is what? 206.
I thought that we had to calculate the profits made by Green Bay.
That was why I said, give me another thing we can work on. So now she suggested we should get the count of city for Green Bay alone. So it is what I am seeing in the chat section I am working with.
Okay, I thought that we are doing, okay, no problem.
So Meletus, for you to get the best selling products, right, that will be on summary table. For you to get your best selling product, that'll be on summary table. So now profits made in Green Bay. All right. Now Stephen is saying we should do what? Profits made in what? Green Bay. So now let's create that. So now let's just rename the measures to what? Green Bay profits. Right? Now Green Bay what? Profits. Now calculate. Now the expression will be what? Now what will I use for the expression?
Sum.
Sum, good. Sum. So now calculate what? The total what? Cookie profit. I'll close my bracket on that, comma, then call out what? My city first in my order table. I can call out anything first. Does not mean so far what my syntax is correct. Right? Now equals to what? Green Bay. Right? Comma. Then the next one is what? Order. We are going towards okay, Green Bay total profit. Oh,
Yeah.
that's all. So yeah, now the total profit for what? Green Bay. Now, if I call out my card again and I click on what? Green Bay profit. So now this is the total profit made in Green Bay.
Good morning.
Good morning, K. Oh, good morning. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Good morning. So now, Steven has added something. He said the total profits made by chocolate chip in Green Bay. So now let me just do comma, then come down, then what? Locate the product, right? Equals to what? Chocolate chip. Now, the total profits made in Green Bay on chocolate chip is $353,502. Wow. Worry. 353,502. Is there any question on this? Unit of chocolate chip is sold in Salt Lake. Okay, we have other products. We have fortune cookie, oatmeal raisin. We have sugar. We have white chocolate, macadamia nut. So Ruth said unit of chocolate chip in Salt Lake City. So now let me click on order, new measure.
Can use another chocolate chip.
Sorry?
We can use another product in place of the chocolate chips.
Okay, let's do sugar then. Units, total units sold for sugar. All right, please a minute, everyone. Let me pick this call. All right, so calculate. Now, what expression will I be using now?
Some.
Sum. So now I'm summing up what the unit sold column. I'll close my bracket on that, comma. Then the very first one is what? The product equals to what? Sugar, right, comma. Then order again, the city equals to what? Salt Lake. Is it Salt Lake City or just Salt Lake? Okay, Salt Lake City. Now, that's for that. If I click on my card now, and I say count of, was it total units sold for sugar? So now the total units sold for sugar is what? The 7,000. Any question on this? Any question on this? Any question? All right. So, in the absence of no question, I am pleased to announce to you we are done with measures on Power BI. We are done with what? Measures on Power BI. So moving on, we are going to what? Calculated table. We are moving on to what? Calculated table. Favor, please read. Okay, is she in class? Okay, I guess not. Emeka.
Yes, I'm here.
You can read, please.
A calculated table is a new table created using a DAS formula. It allows you to derive new tables from existing ones or from custom DAS expressions. Calculated tables are useful for creating summary tables, filtering data, or creating relationships between tables. Benefits of calculated tables: they are dynamically updated when the data model is refreshed. 2, they can be used like any other table in your data model, supporting relationships and being used in reports.
All right, thank you
I'm
very
good.
much. So now, the calculated table is a new table created with what? A table created using DAX formula. So now, before we move on, everything we've been doing on Power BI, have we been creating anything without the DAX formula? Have we been creating anything without using the DAX formula?
Yeah, some will use the custom column.
Not Power BI, not Power Query. Power BI, not Power Query.
No.
Have we been creating anything
No.
without using the DAX formula?
No, nothing.
Now you can see that anything under Power BI is created using the what? Everything is under what? The DAX formula.
DAS formula.
All right. So now on the calculated table, we are going to be creating a what? A date table first. We are going to be creating a what? A date table. So now, what is a date table? A date table, the date table is often generated using the DAX function, like calendar or what? Calendar auto. And then you can create various calculated columns for year, month, quarter, day, and more. Right? Meaning when creating a date table, right, you can create a table using calendar or what? Calendar auto. Those are the two ways you can create a what? A date table. Now, after that, we are going to be creating a date table using the calendar auto. We are going to be what? Creating a date table using the calendar auto. So now the calendar auto function creates a date table based on the data in your model. Now it automatically detects the range of dates in your data, meaning without a date column in your data, you can't use calendar auto. A date column must be visible in your data before you can use what? Calendar auto. Right? So now let's talking more practical. So now if I click on what? New table. I'll click on new table. So now the name of the table now will be what? Date table. The name of the table was date table. Now, what are we going to use for my date table? Calendar auto. Now, calendar auto, I'll just close the bracket. Open the bracket and close the bracket. Now, you can see now calendar auto function cannot find a base column of date time type in the model. Meaning we don't have a date column in the model, but there is dates here. Can anyone tell me why it is not giving me? Can anyone tell me why it is not saying it? Can anyone tell me why it is not saying it?
The data type.
Data type.
Good.
Data type.
I'll change the data type to what?
It's showing as text, but supposed to show date. Yes, supposed to be date.
So I'll just click on yes. So now I've changed it now to what? Date. Now I can now see it now. It is now shown as what? Date. Now I can see the date table. If I come back to the date table now, can you see it now? Can you see it now? So now one thing you should always know from the date table, or should I say the calendar auto, is that no matter the year you are having, right? Let's say 2019, 2022, 2023, 2024. Now in 2024, you're just having a single year, and a single month, let's say January, right? In the data you're having, you're just having 2024, and the month you're having there is just January. What calendar auto will do for you is it's going to open a yearly calendar for you for each year it sees in your data. Meaning if it is saying 4 years, which is 2020, 21, 22, 23, it is going to open that 4 years for you in a full calendar aspect. Are you all getting that? Are we all getting that?
No, sir. Can you come again?
Now, I said the calendar auto opens a yearly calendar for us. Meaning, if you are having 4 years in your data, it is going to open that column for you in a full year calendar, meaning from January 1st, 2020 to December 31st, 2020. And it's going to repeat the same step for 2020, 21, 22, 23, depending on how many years it sees or it's recognized in your data. Do you get that now? Do you get that now? So now, before we create any column inside our calendar auto, our dates table, you must always use your auto dates column. Meaning, so now I said, wait, okay. Did you all get the information I said earlier concerning the calendar auto, when it's going to open the yearly calendar for us? Did everyone get that information?
Yeah, we got that. It will create for all the years it's on it.
Okay, now I now search any column you're going to be creating inside your dates table, right? Any column you're going to be creating inside a dates table, you are going to be using the column that you created using the calendar auto. Any dates column you'll be creating, be it the year, the month, the day, the quarter, the week, anything you're going to be creating inside of the dates table, you are going to be referencing them from the calendar auto column, meaning the column you created using calendar auto. The column you created using what? Calendar auto. So now let's move on. So now we're going to be creating the year now, the year column, which is year. Then I'll be using what? Format. Now, meaning I am converting values to what? Text. I am transforming them from value to what? To text. So now the value now will be what? My dates table, which is my what? My auto dates, right? Comma. Then the format will be what? Y. And I'll close my bracket and I'll click on what? Enter. Now I have it as 2019, 20, and so on. If I come here and I change it to date, it's going to give me as what? Error.
Excuse me, this thing is at 20. We can't meet. It's really cutting. I've not been hearing. It's just cutting and going.
Okay, now, can everyone hear me properly now?
Yes.
No.
Yes, we can hear you.
All right,
It's cutting this side though.
It's
not cutting from my end though.
You can now see the issue I have with MTN. Okay, now, what about now? Can everyone hear me properly?
I can hear you.
Can everyone hear me properly now? Tina,
I can hear you, sir.
Fatima, Nana. Stephen, well done. Well done, yeah. Stephen, well done. Well done, Stephen. MTN is the best in Ghana. Thank you. We know. Eshe. So now, for the year, I'll call it my year function, right? And the next thing is what? Select the date. Now the date is what?
Sorry.
Okay.
Why did you cancel what you did before? I think you used format before.
Yeah, now the reason why I canceled that and not used this not use format anymore, because it is taking the year as text, not numbers. It is taking the year as what? Text and not date. So now for you to take it as date, you have to use the year format. So I'll close my bracket and I'll click on what? Enter. Now you can see it now, it's giving me as what? Date. So I'll just come here and change the data type to what? Oh, wait. I'm having error. Hold on.
You remember? Comma, why?
No, hold on. I started this nonsense again. Because
No, go back to formats.
no, I'm not using format. I don't want to use formats.
Okay.
It is giving me error, which is not meant to be.
Yes, because the data that we didn't look at the data type. Come back.
No, you don't get.
It.
It's meant to give me only the year. It is giving me a full date, which is not meant to be.
No, it's not. Which is not supposed to be. Yes, I know.
It's meant to give me just the year because I'm using the year function. Okay, let's just use format. It's not meant to give me this. I'm coming. Let me try month. I'm coming. I'll try something for month. See the same thing. Okay, let's just use format. Because this one is meant to give me as just one index, nothing more. It's meant to give me as index. This month I'm using is meant to give me as index. So let's just use format. So now the value will be what? My auto date, comma, then the text, the format will be what? YYY, and close my brackets. And I'll click on what? Enter. The error. Something is wrong somewhere.
Change it to text. Let's see. The date. I said change that place to no.
Let me refresh it.
Do. That is what happens when we are coding.
Okay, so let me come here and change this to this. Okay, let me create a new column again. Let me create a new column. So here, I'm correct. Can you see it now? It is changing it to O number, not date. So if I change it to date, that's when it is giving me this. So I have to change it to what? O number.
Okay.
Can you see it now? So this is as O number. Why this one is at what? Text. So this for text, this for O number. So we don't need this column. So now let's create the month column also. The column for months. So we're going to get in the month name. Which is what? Format. Then the value will be what? My calendar auto date. Which is the
auto date.
The auto there, the calendar auto, comma. Then what's the format for month?
Format.
M3M.
3M. Is it correct?
No. I'm not sure.
It's 4M.
How many M again?
4M is for year. I think it's 3M.
4M.
It's 4M. If it's 3M, it's not going to bring out the.
So now what 3M is going to do for you is going to abbreviate it for you.
Yes, it will abbreviate.
4M is going to give you in full. So now that's for the month. So let's do for the day name. So format and the value which is auto date, comma. Then the format for day is what?
DDD.
Can you see it now? So let's create new column for the quarter. Quarter. Now the date, sorry, format. Then the value will be what? Auto date, comma. Then what's the format for quarter? Anyone? Can anyone guess? Can anyone guess? Guess. So now Q/Q. So now the format for quarter is Q/Q. Q/Q is the format for quarter. I'll what? Close my bracket and I'll click on what? Enter. And I have it like this: 1Q, 2Q, 3Q, and so on. Any question? Any question? Any question? Can everyone hear me? Can everyone hear me? Hello?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, so is there any question on quarter?
Yes, I can.
Any question on quarter before we move on?
No question for now.
Okay, so now moving on to the next one, let's create a summary table and we wrap it up for the day. Let's create a what? A summary table. Okay, for week. All right, let's do for week. So week. So now we have the weekday, we have the week norm. So now the date is what? Can auto date, comma. Then we have first, second, third. Meaning if you are choosing one, the day of your week is starting from 1, which is on Sunday. If you are choosing 2, which is on Monday, 3 is on Tuesday. So the day of our week starts from where? Monday and Sunday. I'll close my bracket and I'll click on what? Enter. Now you can see it now. If you check it now, Tuesday is the 3rd day of the week, which is 3rd. Right now, Tuesday is the 3rd day of the week. Can you see it now? Tuesday what is the 3rd day of the week. So is there any question on that? Now I said number 1 is for Sunday, meaning your day of the week is starting from Sunday. If the day of your own week is starting from Monday, then you choose 2. If the day of your week is starting from Wednesday, from Tuesday, you choose 3. But we all know the day of our week is starting from Sunday, which is what? 1. So that's the reason I chose 1 here. So now moving on to the next one, which is our summary table. Now, just for short, summary table is just you creating a table to create it for a summary, right? You're trying to create a summary table. You're trying to summarize your table in short. Now, how do you do that? We create a new table, right? And you can name it, let's just say summary table. Then what do? Summary Or I said summarize. Now, I want to show you the data. Now you can see now. The very first one is what is the table, right? Then after the table, we have the group by underscore column name. Right after that, we have what? Why is this thing showing now? Leave here, you this. So now we have the group by column name. Okay, let's just start. Now let's start. Now the name of the table is what? The order table, right? The name of the table is what? My order table, comma. Now the group by, meaning how do you want it to group by, right? How do you want it to group by? So now let's say, someone said something concerning this earlier where I said we're going to use summary table. Was it the best-selling product or so? So now let's say product, let's use products. Let's use products, right? Comma. Now we're using product now. And under product, let's use, what should we use anything under product? Oh, should just move to the name. Okay, let's use another thing again. We have product. Let's use state, right? Comma. Now I'm through with the group by or column name. Now what I'm trying to say is I am going to group it by product and by state. Meaning I'm trying to get the best. Now what I'm trying to do is now is I'm trying to get the best selling product for the order and the state. The best selling product for what? Order and state. Now I'll call out the column name, meaning the name of the column I have to use best selling product. Right? Comma. Then my expression now will be what? Sum. My expression will be what? Sum. So now what am I going to sum now? I am going to sum what? The total cookie per profit. And I'll close my brackets. And I'll close it again. If I click on enter, now it has done this for me now. Now what I've done is I have grouped the product and the state. I have grouped all the products. Now you can see it now, it is giving me for each state separate. Now for WI, I don't know which state is it. Or let's just take it as Washington, Washington. Now let's say for Washington, this is the product, this is product sold, and for the state of Washington, these are the total best-selling product for each state. Now the best-selling product for this state is what? Let's see, that's chocolate chip. The best-selling product for other states, isn't chocolate chip is the best-selling product on all tables. Can you see it now? Do you understand the summary table? Do you all understand the summary table?
Yes, sir. But the thing returned almost the same thing for every state. As chocolate number 1, fortune cookies number 2, oatmeal number 3, and whatever. I don't know.
Look at the state. Look at the state. You can see the state are changing.
Same in all the states.
It is now what it's trying to tell you that for each state, meaning that all the states have the same product. Now it is now grouping you for each as the sales is coming in. Right, chocolate chip is the first, fortune cookie, oatmeal, snicker, doodle, sugar, and white chocolate macadamia nuts. So I mean these are the profits they made from each state. right? For each product, right? These are the profit they made on in the state of WI, right? This is the profit they made also. This is the profit they made. This is the profit they made. Any question?
If you want to get the yes, sir. Sir,
Okay.
please, what if we want to get the percentage of each profit? The percentage.
So if you want to get the percentage, that will be when you are creating your visualization, right? That will be when you're creating your visualization. Or let me see if okay, that's for expression 1. Let's try for expression 2. Let's see percentage. Comma. Then so let's just say percentile inclusive or exclusive. So let's choose the total profits. Let's say 1. Okay. Baba 0.
Apply it here.
Okay, the percentile is not working. Let me change it to inclusive and choose 1. Okay, now this is it. So let's say 2. So it's going to work with 0 or 1. So is it going to work with 0 or 1? Sorry?
Sir, I was expecting there should be a sign of
But it's
at the number.
yes, exactly, because it's just almost the same thing.
Even on the sign of percentage, that means you have to take that will be on the visualization aspect.
Oh.
But when you want to visualize with it,
Okay.
you can add the percentage. Because
Okay.
let me take it back first. Hold on. That person is feeling sleepy.
It's Favor's brother.
Favor's brother. So now something like this, and it's not. Let me put it on 0.
This can be in percentage. Okay, you
like
can.
20%.
This is not. I go.
Not even what. So the percentile can't work.
I think why the thing is giving us problem is that it must be a percentage of a pattern number.
Yeah.
So which percentage of the number are we talking of?
Now
the product.
It's like the general something. So it's just like giving
order.
us
It's order.
It's just giving us the same answer back. It's like instead of it to give us the general percentage of everything in at a single thing. So now we're relating it to a single value. So any question on the summary table before I wrap up with class tonight? Any question on summary table before I wrap up with class tonight?
No, sir.
Okay. So in the absence of no question,